I grew up in Berkeley, California, so I grew up, with hippie parents and was always sort of taught that I could change the world if I wanted to. I first started to study film in college when I realized that, through the power of storytelling and the visual image, you could really affect people's feelings and emotions in a really positive way. It seemed a beautiful and creative way to really be able to make a difference. Going through life, I'm always looking at people and looking at situations, and I'm always looking for the story. I always was really interested in real people and what made real people tick. That's what intrigues me. That's what's fun for me, is to learn how to retell those stories. In October of 2009, I saw this funny, quirky Irish guy named David O'Brien give a lecture on health and nutrition, and I was really taken by his energy and his spirit.
I mean, just think of the strength of our bodies to heal. We've an amazing body. Let's start looking after it.
The first thing I thought when I saw Crazy Dave on the stage is, now that guy is a character. And then he talked about this 4-desert series he was going to do the next year, and I thought to myself, now that's a story. Before I knew it, I was just going up to Dave and introducing myself and saying, hey, have you thought about filming what you're going to do next year? And little did I know that that one simple little decision in the moment would lead to this crazy year-long adventure that would take me all over the planet to 7 continents in 1 year, and that I would have the opportunity to meet all these amazing people from all over the world.
This is the life.
I think I thought before we went to the first race that it was going to be a bunch of elite athletes. And what really intrigued me most about these races when I got there was that these people weren't elite athletes. They weren't professional athletes. They were real people. People like me and people I could relate to, who had just decided that this was something they wanted to try, and they wanted to challenge themselves in a new way and see what they were made of. That was something I could really relate to. It was a very human story. It was very real. It was very universal. It was something for anybody who wanted to believe it was possible. So we started with Dave, and what really intrigued me about Dave was the fact that here he was at 56 years old, and he wanted to be the oldest person to ever attempt to do these races all in 1 year. What makes somebody at that age think that that's possible for them? To me it was really a story about what our different perceived limitations are that we put upon ourselves, and why does one person think they can do something that another person thinks is impossible, and what is that all about? Then we met Samantha Gash in the Atacama Desert, and she was the youngest person who wanted to try to do this, and the first woman, and I loved that juxtaposition of Dave and Samantha being from such different ages, such different backgrounds, different countries, different times in their lives, but yet attempting to do the same thing, attempting the same goal. Over the course of the year, we sort of began to adopt people one by one as we met new people and learned their stories, and they became our Team Juice Plus in the deserts. Ricky to me is Mr. All-American, Mr. Athlete, the guy that you think has it all, and so you would wonder, what's he looking for? And in a way, he represents all of us. He represents the average Joe who really wants to make his mark on the world. And he's struggling with such human issues, the same kind of stuff we all struggle with all the time, and trying to have a relationship with our bodies and our health and our future and our lives and our families. And Ricky's been through it all and is going through it all and does go through it all in the course of the year in the desert. Lisa Tamati, we met in the Gobi Desert. She is one of the best female endurance runners in the world, top female endurance runner in New Zealand. Lisa's someone who has worked her whole life to get to where she is, and is all about going for her dreams, pushing through barriers, being an adventurer. She's hard as nails and yet totally feminine all at the same time. And it's all about pushing her body to the max and making the most of her life and finding out what she's made of. One of the really fun things for me as we built this Team Juice Plus has been sort of being this Juice Plus ambassador out in the desert. I get to make movies and tell stories in the way I love, and simultaneously share the gift of health, which is so important to me and so important to all of the people I've met along the way. Live life to the plus to me means that I'm just making the most of every day that I have here on this planet. And I feel so blessed that I've spent the past year meeting amazing people from all over the world who will be lifelong friends forever. You know, every single one of them has an amazing story, and I just feel so privileged to get to be the person who gets to tell it and to be able to put it all together into this crazy movie about what it means to run across the 4 hardest deserts in the world and change your life in the process.